All right, what's going on, everyone? I am here with the host of the Girl Hockey Dad podcast, Phil. Let's just get right into it. There is a lot to discuss because Boston is potentially on the verge of 2 years in a row blowing a 3-1 lead. The Leafs have tied it up 3-3 tomorrow night in Boston. Game 7. If you watched our last video, I predicted the Leafs in 7, and it's setting up. And hey, we could talk about how we got here, but first let's just talk about this going into it right now. The Leafs have what appears to be all the momentum. Boston, you have to feel, is now in their heads a little bit, being like, are we really going to do this again? And then the other shoe I think that's sitting out there waiting to drop is, how will the Leafs devastate their fans this year? Which one of those storylines do you think is the most important right now for this final Game 7?
It's funny. Which one's the most important? The one that you don't really need to talk about is the fact that everybody's thinking the exact same thing. Yeah, awesome. You got us to Game 6. You got us to Game 7. We all know what's going to happen now. Like, as a Leaf fan, you're already. I was hanging out tonight with a diehard Bruin fan, and I'm saying, like, yeah, it's great that we got you to Game 7, but that's it. The easy topic would be to try and go that obviously we're going to lose tomorrow and that's it, but it does feel a bit different. So I like the storyline better of, like, this could be it. This could be the Game 7 that we talked about.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, right? Matthews is out, and you're playing in Boston. Everyone left him for dead. The huge public gambling money coming in on Boston, and I actually had a buddy ask me, he's like, are you actually going to bet on the Leafs tonight? Because he knows I'm a bit of a degenerate. I was like, you know what? I'm like, I am, and, like, I'll tell you why. Because anytime, regardless who's playing, anytime you have a game where one team was already potentially lopsided favorite, and then all of a sudden they're missing their star player, or, like, something's come up to, like, swing it even more in the direction you think, I'm like, Vegas is not going to get wiped out on a game like that. So I'm like, betting the Leafs. And sure enough, the Leafs win. And then the toss-up game was the game last night. Was, can they actually win at home, right?
And did you put money on that? Did you put money on that game?
I didn't. I wasn't going to, but I did because it was the Super Boost. The Super Boost was Nylander, 2 shots on goal, and Leafs win. So I hit it, and that cashed out. So I'm pretty happy with that. So now we're in Game 7, and let's talk about how we got here a little bit. And there's a couple. I think my biggest shout out is to the coaching staff, because I don't always know what's actually going on the ice, but the one thing you could see is lineup changes, right? Mm-hmm. To critique, and the goaltending change to Wall. Like, Wall's hot. Like, he's making some incredible stops, keeping them in games. I feel like I know most people know that Walls has been pretty much the star of this comeback, but I still don't know if he's got quite the recognition he should. And another one that I thought was needed, and again, this might have been a game too late. Maybe both of them were maybe a game too late to react. But send in Reeves as a healthy scratch, because those first few games there was some plays that led to Boston goals, that
direct turnovers due to him being on the ice. Yeah,
pinching in when he shouldn't have been, like, just sloppy plays. So obviously you don't want a guy to get benched or whatever, but something had to be done, and that was the move the coaching staff made, and I applaud them for doing it.
He made the right choice. It's pretty clear that we didn't have, like, even top to bottom in that game last night. I mean, we did play. The Leafs played a top to bottom game, which they haven't done in forever. Yeah. But there were really no moments of, like, pure panic. You don't know what's going to happen next, and I think that's exactly like you said. That's due to player management, healthy scratch. I understand. I agree. You don't want to see anybody benched, but, like, it sure feels like those were all the right decisions. And it does kind of suck right now thinking that we gave Sammy the first couple of games, because Wall's on a heater.
You kind of look back at it like, why couldn't Wall get into at least one of those? Just one of those to see what he had. But it is what, they've made the buttons now, and they've put themselves into a position to, extend their playoff life.
True.
the other big thing we talked about on the last video was one of my big points of emphasis was the stars had to step up. Like the Leafs stars had to be the best players on the ice. And in the 3 games they lost, they were completely invisible. But in the one Matthews game where he had 3 points, showed out. Leafs won that one. And last night, Nylander got it done. Not once,
he did. But where was
twice.
Mitch? Where was Mitch last night? That's my only.
He's still MIA. He's still MIA. Yeah, but at least we got one of our big dollar value guys to at least do something.
And I can think of nothing better than him showing up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Feel
do
free.
we have any news on Matthews? Will he be back tomorrow?
I doubt it.
No?
I've been doing a little bit of the internet trolling to see what everyone's thinking, and the concept of it being an I'm thinking MCL. It looks like a leg injury. I think he's done. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's bittersweet, right? If they grind out this win without Matthews, and then potentially have to go on and face Florida.
He may be back. That was maybe that's the way to put it. Is it doesn't feel like they're not
he's
being.
been out on the ice doing pre-workouts on himself. So right, if he had a significant ligament,
if it was a tear,
he wouldn't be on it. I wouldn't think.
Agreed.
Yeah. The other real worrying thing, we touched on how the Leafs, Boston's defense was going to shut down the Leafs a bit, and the Leafs defense leaves a lot to be desired. But the one thing that's really, really coming true is the Leafs power play. I think they said last game it was converting at 5%, and then they had that double minor and did not convert. So it's got to be under 5 now.
It's got to be.
That's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
And again, do you see that as a pure negative, or are you looking at okay, we're going into a game 7, and let's be ridiculous and say we're going into a second series, and we haven't even hit stride. We are down Matthews. Our power play has not been good. So if they can figure out the power play and get some big wheels going again, I mean...
Yeah. They can't even gain the zone. I don't know if it's just the Boston thing that's all in their head, but, in these tight games, when you get those power plays, you got to... those are your best chances to convert. You know what I mean? They gotta.
You can't take away from Boston though the way they're clogging up the neutral zone, the way they're keeping everything to the outside. They're letting them do this sort of dump and chase, which I don't know why we're dump and chasing on a power play, but even still, they're managing those entries so well. You can't take that away from Boston, but we should probably try something different. Yeah.
So it leaves a lot to be desired. But to your point, we've got to this point so far with zero power play, literally zero power play. So
nothing.
If they do get a little more hot in that category, because maybe I'm not gonna say they have a blowout win, but it seems like they're due for an explosion. One of these games, right?
7-3 final would be great. You can put money on that. 7-3 final, game 7 win.
Yeah, as long as it's
don't
not,
do that.
As long as it's not 4-1 in the third.
Yeah.
I don't know if I feel comfortable with those numbers.
No. I don't even want to talk about that. We're not doing that again.
Yeah. So to tie a little knot on the Leafs here, you got a prediction for tomorrow night?
Yeah, realistically, I'm gonna go 3-2 win. No goals in the first for either team. 2-1 end of the second. 3-2 win.
I like it. Yeah.
Yep.
I obviously I think it's going to be close. It's probably going to be a 1-goal game. And hey, I got to stick to my guns. I said Leafs in 7, so give me the Leafs. They've shown they could already win in Boston. So, and again, I don't think you can underestimate that the Bruins blew the 3-1 last year, and they're in the exact same position. That's gotta be an uneasy feeling for them coming back on home ice.
Watch the presser. Watch that presser. Tell me you don't think they look like they know what's going on and what's going to happen here. Marchand doesn't look happy. Yeah. Pasternak had a look on his face like, what is happening? Charlie McAvoy looks like deer in the headlights. Tomorrow's going to be a really interesting game.
And if they start pointing fingers at each other and stuff like that too, you think it's Swayman and net again?
I don't think they're going to give Ullmark the start, but that game wasn't Swayman's fault, so...
No, he has been solid, but he has now played a lot of hockey. So
Yeah, agreed.
yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, but no, I think if you're a Leafs fan, I think you got to be excited. And
No, I agree.
Yeah, yeah,
We got something here. It's going to be a great game as a Leaf fan. I think you can't help but be excited. It's going to be a great game regardless. But there's a good chance that we're very happy at the end of tomorrow night.
yeah. Just a random thoughts on the playoffs in general. Is there any team that has caught your eye, surprised at any of the results going on in the first round?
I was saying just a minute ago, just watching Vancouver put out the Preds. I felt like Vancouver was going to do well.
Yeah.
You know.
The Preds were your sleeper team, I think you said.
Yeah, no, they were. Yeah, going back to the last one, Preds were the sleeper team, and Vancouver putting them out tonight. Why? You know, it's if you watch the last 2 minutes of that game. So Vancouver ties it with just over a minute and a half left, and I would say the Preds had about six good chances in about 14 seconds to tie the game. So they just missed.
Yeah. The one thing, well, to me, the Panthers look absolutely like a machine, and it's unfortunate the Leafs potentially have to play them next.
Yeah.
They look like they're firing on all cylinders.
That's a scary team to play right now.
Yeah. But hey, you got to beat them if you want the cup, right? So
let's take the first round. Let's take the first round win, and then let's just deal with the scary Panthers when we get there.
Yeah, maybe a trip to Florida.
Yeah, maybe a trip to Florida.
Any other comments on the playoffs before we wrap this up?
It's playoff hockey, right? Every single game you can throw on a game anytime. Doesn't matter if you really have a dog in the race. It's great hockey, so it's just been super entertaining. And no, I mean, I'm now just like a typical Leafs fan. I'm drawn right into the possibility of making it out of round one, and let's just see what happens tomorrow night.
Yeah, don't even put it in the air.
No. Nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything. We can reconvene after the game.
Yeah, we'll do for sure. All right, that'll wrap it up for us. Let us know in the comments how you think Game 7 is going to go down, and if the Blue and White do move on, do you see them having a chance against Florida? Peace out, everyone. We'll see you all in the next one.